Very good evening to everyone present here. I am Dipali, the coordinator at Law Internship and the moderator for today's interactive session. We have among us Advocate R. Abhishek Castro. He is an advocate at the High Court of Madras. Sir is an BCom LLB graduate and also he is the founder and chairperson of Castro Lex Edu Foundation. Apart from this, he had addressed 100 plus national and international conferences and also presented several research papers. And being a postgraduate student of LLM in business law at Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar National Law University, Chennai, he won several awards like the Election Commission of India's Best Speaker Award from Sri Banwarilal Purohit, His Excellency the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. Also received Dr. Ambedkar Law University's Best Speaker Award consecutively for the past 5 years from 2015 to 2020. He was also the holder of several student leadership offices in his university. Sir had received India's Best Law Student of the Year 2020 presented by Honorable Justice Kurian Joseph, the former judge of the Supreme Court of India and Ally Group of Foundation Indore. So we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Deepali, for the wonderful introduction.
Yes, sir. So today, sir will be discussing.
Yes, continue. Yes.
Okay, sir. So today, sir will be discussing about how to use Blue Book and OSCALA citation. I request the participants to keep their videos on and keep their videos off and the mics on mute. So if anyone has any kind of queries, they can raise their hand, and even if not, you can write it in the chat box itself. So without any further delay, let's begin the session for today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Deepali, for the wonderful introduction. It really means a lot, and I take immense pleasure to be in today's session of law internships for the May month interns, May 2021. I sincerely thank law internships. I sincerely thank Mr. Shubhank sir. I sincerely express my thanks to my dear friend Reeti Jindal for the invitation. And thank you, Deepali, for the wonderful introduction and for the very good beginning. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the interns for your enthusiasm, interest, zeal, and then your coming forward attitude to expose yourself into internship and all these kind of opportunities and getting exposure and be job ready and profession ready to face the challenges in the profession in the days to come. This is really a great thing from your end, and organizing these kind of sessions and grooming you all is really a great performance from the end of law internship. And this session on a very unique and a spectacular topic, the Blue Book and OSCALA. So I will make the session more interactive. I will also encourage you all to be more interactive. And this session will be an eye-opener session on these two areas. And this session will also be a session which will strengthen you in your research activities and your legal, scholarly works. Because I have seen many students in the law school days, they will not show more focus on writing or publications, paper presentations, addressing the national, international seminars, webinars, symposiums, etc. But this is very essential, because this is only going to shape your legal acumen, your legal knowledge, widening the legal knowledge, more than saying legal knowledge, widening the legal knowledge. So you people are really blessed with a great opportunity. So that is really great. Everybody is not getting opportunity, but you people have got a great opportunity. So before beginning the session, first I would like to tell you all, always have that unquenchable thirst to learn something. That is very important in life, because first attempt or first time you may learn something, or you may not grasp something properly, or you may be half baked, or you may not learn in a full-fledged specialized manner, or etc. Whatever you may add up, you can add it here. But when you are getting more exposure again and again, when you are shaping yourself, trying again and again, putting yourself into something and getting more and more exposure, committing a mistake, facing a failure, getting up, and then moving forward, this is the main what to say, the experience and the exposure of the path of learning. So that kind of a learning interest, first of all, the students must have. That is very, very important. So in this session, the topic given to me by Ms. Reeti Jindal to cover is Oscola and Blue Book. So any one of you have any idea about Oscola and Blue Book? A basic idea, a basic introduction, a basic meaning about Oscola and Blue Book. Anybody have any idea about it? Any students? You can unmute your audio and you can express your view on Oscola and Blue Book. A basic understanding. I hope no one knows about Oscola and Blue Book, because first of all, the researcher, the reader is going to become, what to say, a writer. The writer is going to become a scholar. So I have a quote. I will share the PPT right now, and we will get into the topic in depth, so that you will have a better understanding on this area. So shall I share the screen, Dipali? Dipali can share the screen, right?
Yes, sir. Of course, you can
Yes, I'll
start.
share the screen. Yeah. Whether the screen is visible on screen?
Yes,
Is
sir.
visible
It
on
is
screen?
visible. Yes, sir.
Yes. So the session topic is Oscola and Blue Book. So now I will go to the introduction of my session. So this session slides, I only managed to 8 to 10 slides only. But the concepts which I'm going to express through my address, you have to observe it very, very, very peculiarly. It is very important. So the introduction is, the student must become a reader. The reader must become a learner. That learner must become a writer. The writer must become a researcher. That researcher must become a scholar. That scholar must become eminence. So this is my quote actually. Everything begins from reading. So reader becomes the learner, and learner becomes the writer, and writer becomes the researcher, researcher becomes the scholar, and scholar becomes the eminence. So this is the path of learning process. The each and every criteria of levels you'll be achieving when you are engrossed and what to say, dedicated, committed learner. So this is the path you'll be crossing from the beginning till the end. So to do in research work, you will be referring a lot of resources, because everybody is not brilliant, everybody is not intellectual, everybody cannot know everything. So this, first of all, you must understand. So for what you will do, when you start research, what you people will be doing, you will be starting to collect the resources. You will be referring some books, journals, articles, editorials, legal documents. It may be a foreign material or international material or whatever it might be, a national level domestic material or whatever it might be. You'll be starting to collect the sources. Source collection is very, very important. So source collection, these are the sources: newspapers, magazines, and then websites, internet sources, and various other online platforms. Many things are there, YouTube channels, you'll be collecting the sources. A lot of things you'll be doing. Even from the social media pages nowadays, people are collecting. Instagram pages, they are collecting sources. So when you're collecting the sources, you have to accumulate the sources. Accumulation of sources is very important for a learner. So you know, right, UPSC examinations, how we will be preparing, collecting the sources. The sources are scattered. We have to collect it, we have to compile it, which sources have to be referred, which sources have to be dumped to make a comparative study, and we have to work that. You'll be collecting the sources. That is very, very important beginning and inceptional step you have to take. So after that, what you will be doing when you're collecting the sources, you will be using that sources for your research work. You will be using that sources for your research work. The research work must be and purely, and that is will be affected in plagiarism, and that the research work will be thrown out. So when you are accumulating all these resources, you will be utilizing all these resources in your research work. So when you're utilizing it, plagiarism, you will be using some of the papers and magazines you're taking, and you're citing it in your research paper. So that time what you must do is you have to cite and you have to give a reference and you have to add a footnote. So how many of you know to put footnotes? That is very important, because I've seen many young law students, they doesn't know to put a footnote itself. So footnote, you must remember Alt Control plus F. Alt Control plus F is the way to put the footnote. You must remember this. This is a very simple thing. When you are mentioning a footnote in your research paper, you must use this, what to say, keyword in the system. So you have to mention the reference in the footnote, the citation in the footnote. And citation, you'll be citing a data, you'll be citing a case law, you'll be citing information, you'll be citing a sentence, you'll be citing a paragraph, whatever it might be. You'll be citing a lot of information, wherever, whatever the sources it might be, you have to cite it. And then you have to add it as a footnote. And then after finishing the research paper, you can add references and then what to say, bibliography, etc., etc. So you all know, right? Bibliography, all the books, primary source, secondary source, and etc. I'll be coming to the next slides. I'll be coming on that. So then you will be adding your bibliography, all the internet websites which you refer. Okay. So now I've told you, citing and references is very, very important. Then only you can avoid the plagiarism. But the citing and references must be done in a very systematic manner. Just like that, you can't do that. So for that, we must use the following tools and formats. That tools and formats is OSCOLA and Harvard Blue Book 20th edition. So Harvard Blue Book 90th edition, please don't refer, and previous editions don't refer. Now in practice, we are using the Harvard Blue Book 20th edition. This only you have to refer. So internationally, they are using this two tools and formats in the research papers. So they both are applicable across the world by legal researchers, scholars, law students, education institutions, and in all the law journals and legal scholarly works. Across the world now, they're using these two formats. Okay. I hope you got the introduction. This is the basic start I'm doing. Next, OSCOLA. First, we will go to the OSCOLA referencing. Anybody have any doubt on the site and references? What I have shared with you? Anybody have any doubt? I hope no doubt on the introduction. It's a basic introduction about the citing and referencing. So citing and referencing, when you refer something, you have to cite it. Cite it means you have to cite it so that you will be avoid plagiarism. So referring the book and then citing the reference, what I have done in the research paper. This is very, very simple, basic meaning I am telling about the citing and referencing, because this OSCOLA, the Harvard Blue Book, everything starts from citing and referencing. So citing and referencing also, I'll be detailedly explaining to the beginners level slides. So what's OSCOLA? So it's a style of referencing used in law essays. Law essays means it may be an article, it may be an long essay, short essay, or long article, etc. You can add whatever you want, you can add it. So research paper, your paper presentations, what you're doing in the college projects, etc. That also you can do it in a very systematic manner by adding footnotes, adding references, and then a bibliography. I've seen many law students, they will not at all follow this kind of a structural format. They will just like to write an essay and they will submit it like an essay, like in a kindergarten, and then like a school, junior level essay, like they'll be writing their projects and they'll be submitting it. For a mark purpose, they'll be submitting like that. So from now itself, you students, I hear that you are from first year and second year. From now, you students must start practicing to form the structural pattern, how to do a structural pattern of researching, structure in presentation, structure in the submission of your projects, your research papers. You must start publishing. For that, you must have that interest to do a lot of publication, a lot of articles you have to write, and a lot of editorials, columns you have to write now, and you have to start your own law blog, or you have to expose yourself in reading, writing, and then expressing your views to the society. You have to take the pen as a weapon. That is very important. So whenever you use information, any source, you must use OSCOLA to show where you found it. I told you, right? When you refer something, you have to show it in your research paper where you found it. So OSCOLA have its own format, one type of format, and the basic difference is OSCOLA have one type of format, and then the Harvard Blue Book have a different type of format. So you all know very well, right? When a person is going from Kanyakumari to Jammu Kashmir, he'll be taking a route. From South India to North India, extreme south to extreme north. So when he is going, there will be kilometer boats, there will be a petrol pump direction, and there will be national highway direction, golden quadrilateral direction, and then state borders, and then when we go to the Jammu Kashmir border, line of control border, like that this all might have been done by a person who's a lexicographer, or he might be an architect, or the National Highway Authority of India. They referred the distance, they calculated, and they have they kept for your site in your way. So it is helping you to calculate the kilometers, the number of hours you traveled, and you're reaching your destination. Like that only, whatever you refer, you're going to cite it here, so that the reader will refer that reference what you have cited, and he will better understand the topic. Can you understand what I'm telling? That's the reason I'm connecting this with the national highways and then your journey from South India to North India. I'm just giving this as a good example. Here, the traveler is the reader. Can you get my point? The reader will refer it and he will better understand. So that's the reason we are asking you to give the footnotes. We are asking you to give the references, and then we are asking you to give the bibliography and bibliography. So it's a very simple example I'm giving you for a better understanding. So what happens? You may get the sources from internet websites or books or foreign materials, international materials, lot of things are there, cases, and then court documents, and a lot of things, even electronic devices. You may refer a quote from a movie, you may refer a quote from Bhagavad Gita, Quran, or Bible, or whatever it might be. You may quote it, and then you have to give a proper reference to that, so that the reader, he will explore, he will make a more steady research on the particular reference, and he will better understand the topic. That's the reason we are asking. That's the ultimate purpose of giving this kind of a citation and the referencing. So what is the meaning of OSCOLA? Oxford Standard for Citation of Legal Authorities. This OSCOLA emerged in UK actually. Oxford, they only initiated this OSCOLA, and then later it was applicable across the world. So a number is placed within the text, and the details are added in the bottom of the page. So this is footnotes. OSCOLA uses footnotes. It's very simple. OSCOLA is very simple. When you are, I told you, right, Alt Control plus F. When you're putting a footnote, what will happen? On a paragraph, at the end of a paragraph, or at the end of I have a citation of a case law, you'll be mentioning the footnote, and then you'll be coming to the bottom of the page, and you'll be mentioning the case law name, and then the year of the case law, and then the Supreme Court, the number of the case and everything. So writ number or etc. etc. So like that, the number is placed within the text. The details are added in the bottom of the page. This is footnotes. So the OSPOLA uses footnotes. So it's very simple. So I have given an example also for your knowledge. For example, British courts must only consider Strasbourg jurisprudence. They are not bound by it. Footnote, I'm mentioning Human Rights Act 1998 because this was given in human rights. So briefly, we have to discuss OSPOLA now. So for example, Edward versus Skyways. Okay, Edward versus Skyways is a case law. Okay, it's a UK case law. So I mentioned it. Consider that Edward versus Skyways as a paragraph. After the session, I'll be sharing the documents also with you so that you can have a better understanding and better reference. So Edward and Skyways is one. Okay, it is in the paragraph. You imagine it is in the paragraph. And how the footnote for this will be like, you see in the bottom of the page, you'll be mentioning Edward versus Skyways Limited, 1964, 1AIIER 494 of the case number. So at the end of the bottom of the page, okay, in the page paragraph, the Edward and Skyways will be there. Bottom of the page, you'll be mentioning the footnote. So this is the OSPOLA format. So the table of cases and statutes. The full citations for the sources of law referred to in your essays, separate into subsections, place it in the beginning of your essay and use a separate sheet. For example, table of cases. When you are mentioning a table of cases in your research paper, you have to mention, you may refer European Union cases, you may refer the United Kingdom cases, you may refer USA cases. So you have to subsection, you have to give. You are giving a heading, okay? You are giving a separate, heading for your research work. So in the subcategories, you have to divide it. Table of cases means you may refer a lot of cases. Supreme Court of India cases you might have referred, High Court of Madras cases you might have referred, or High Court of Delhi cases you might have referred. So you have to give it like the High Court cases, Supreme Court cases, UK cases, USA cases, and then the European Union cases. So you have to divide it into different subsections so that the the reader will have a better understanding. When the author does this, the reader will have a better understanding. Oh, author has divided into subsections and then he has given European Union cases, UK cases, and USA cases. And table of statutes. Statutes, different type of statutes we have. Bills, you can give a citation, and then statutes, you can give a citation. European Union legislations, if you referred, I'm telling you. And statutory instruments, you can give a citation. European Union legislations, you can give citation. So you have to subdivide things and you have to elaborate it in such a way that the reader is able to understand it in a better way. That is very, very important. So that's the reason we are dividing this table of statutes into bills, statutes, and then European Union legislation, and then statutory instruments and European Union legislation. Okay. Then bibliography. When it comes to bibliography, you have to subdivide it into different subsections: books, journals, articles, websites. Websites comes under a bibliography, you leave it, and arrange alphabetically by author. So that is also very, very important. When it comes to bibliography, you have to arrange it in an alphabetical order. I have seen many law students, they will not arrange it in an alphabetical order. They will just like that mention Colonel Jawkins wrote the book Human Psychology, and then they will come for Alan Uldrus, who has written the book National Geo. So like that, they will come like this: C, A, and then F, and then they will come A, and then Z, like that they'll go. Like that you should not mention. When you're mentioning a bibliography, you have to come in an author alphabetical order. The name of the book, you leave it, author, I'm telling. The author of A, author of B, author of C, author of D. Like that you have to come in a proper order. So that will help the reader to understand things in a better way. So that's the reason we are focusing more on the citations and then this referencing, because this is very, very important. This will groom the research paper to a proper manner, and then this will give a very good structure to the research paper. That's the reason we are stressing on this point very, very serious. Put it at the end of the essay, okay? And then you have to put this bibliography, and these things at the end of the research work, But footnotes cannot be put at the end of the research paper. That is very, very important. Many law students I have seen, they commit these mistakes. They will finish the full research paper. They don't know about this Alt Control plus F. These people will be coming to the end of the research paper and they'll be mentioning the footnote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Within a single separate sheet, they'll be mentioning 10 footnotes. That is a very, very blenderous thing you're committing in a research paper. You have to mention the footnote within that page in the bottom. That is very important. You have to understand. So to do a better referencing and citing, you must be organized, you must be systematic, you must be kind to yourself. Keep a note of each source you go along, because when you are researching something, you have to have notes. Notes taking is a very good behavior of a researcher. You have to take notes. You have to mention everything in a proper documentation. You have to do it. That is very, very important. You have to take notes and you have to mention all the references very clearly. Even it may be a website reference, HTTP, or whatever it might be. You have to take notes, everything. That is a very, very essential quality of a researcher when it comes to the citing and referencing. When you take notes, only you know which area you referred, and then where you got this information, where you got this point. That is very important. And be systematic. Reference as you write. Don't leave it all until the end. What some people will do, they may leave some kind of a single word or a small sentence from the reference, or they may not refer properly, and they may quote a different then some wrong reference that will mislead the author, that will mislead the evaluator of the research paper, that will mislead the reader. That is very, very important. And then that will mislead the author also. When later, when you are referring your own research paper, you will not be able to go to the reference area where you referred the work or the information what you have cited in your research paper. And be kind to yourself. Reward yourself for creating a well-referenced piece of work. This is up to you, because some people may feel low, some people may feel superior, some may feel inferior. But the work of an author is to create something. But even though your work is getting rejected, even though your work is requested for republication or corrections or whatever it might be, you should not give up. In life, never ever give up must be our a mantra or a slogan forever. So you should not get annoyed, or you should not get depressed, because your mind focus, everything must be on mending the research paper, and then making the research paper more and more beautiful and thoughtful, and create an impact on the society. That is very important for a researcher. So next, I'll go to the next slide. Yeah, this over. Then now we come to the citation and referencing for beginners. So this is applicable to law students, researchers, law scholars, academicians, and everybody, whoever is going to do a scholarly work, or whoever is going to take a pen in hand and do some work related to research and writing. So this citing and referencing is common to everybody. But you people are beginners, you don't know about citing and you don't know about referencing. So I have prepared this, that the basic things, so that you will get a better understanding in a basic level. Okay. So the sources, I've told you very clear in the beginning itself. Sources, we have a lot of sources. Journals we have, books we have, websites we have, editorials, magazines. You can add whatever you want. Everywhere, wherever you're getting information, that is sources. Okay. Even your grandma, she may be an experienced person. She may give you some sources. She may give you some information. Because you may be sharing with your grandma, Grandma, I'm going to do this research work. I'm going to do on this particular topic. That may be related to her, young age time, or in those days, once upon a time. So she may give you some information. So that is also one source. So for a researcher, he must keep his mind broad. Then only you'll get source. You must keep yourself broad. You must be an out of box thinker. You must be a person who is always expecting sources, welcoming sources. You should not close the gates of wisdom. You have to keep the gates of wisdom open forever. Then you'll be getting a lot of sources from many. Wherever you go, you will be getting sources. So you must keep your mind broad. You should not confine yourself. You should not be narrow. Okay, that is very important. So copying without acknowledging or citing the source will result in plagiarism. So what will happen? These people, they will think, the sources I referred, why should I want to cite the reference? Better I will add this source in the research paper. Then later what will happen, if you're not giving the citation, that will result in plagiarism, and your project or your research paper will get rejected. So be very, very careful in referencing, mentioning, citing it in the research paper, and adding the footnotes and reference, and then the bibliography and bibliography. If you people are going to do this basic thing, your work will be an excellent work, I'm telling you. Because even the great researchers, international great scholars, they are referring works, they are referring journals, they are referring the books, journals, and websites, and they are quoting it in their research work, and that research works are getting a lot of pampering success, a lot of readers and best-selling books and all they're writing. So it all what to say, a systematic or execution. Systematic execution is very, very important. That is what I am stressing on this session. You have to be very, very systematic, well planned, and you have to have a strategy. You have to have a strategy in doing things. That is very, very important. So the citation, a specific source that you mention in the body of your paper, basic thing. When you get a source, you have to mention it. When you're not mentioning or citing it, better throw the source out of your research paper. That is very important, because the citation will only help you to prevent your research paper to fail in the plagiarism test. So this is very important. Whatever the knowledge, whatever the things you're going to express in your research paper, when it is failing in the plagiarism test, then from that moment, the credibility of your research paper will be under question. This basic thing you students must remember. So the references, a list of sources you have cited. I told you already, I've explained this already. How you can cite. There are three ways of cite. Okay. There are three ways of citation. That is using name, year system, alphabet number system, citation order system. So citation order system, okay, fine. It's your discretion. You are, what to say, it's up to you to put it in a citation order. But name and year is very important. For example, case laws, the party's name or the state's name will be coming in some cases. And then you'll be mentioning the, what to say, the year of the case. And then alphabet number system, I told you, right? Alphabetical order, arrangement in the bibliography, and then in the citation. So these are all the basic things, how you can cite. These are basic things. Now we have a lot of citation, what to say, methods, and a lot of things have become, but these are very basic things. Citation referencing from the book, okay? Citation referencing from the internet websites. So citation referencing from the book means you'll be reading a lot of books when you're doing a research. Obviously, you'll be reading a lot of books. So you'll be referring from a book and then you'll be citing it. Citation referencing from the internet websites. So internet websites from Googling, and then from browsing from Google Chrome, or nowadays people started to, what to say, cite some Instagram pages and Instagram sites and all. They were citing in the research papers, Facebook pages, or some, what to say, infotainment institutions, infos and all, they're citing in research papers. So these are all, what to say, upgrading according to the emerging technologies, according to the emerging innovation and platforms. We are changing ourselves. We are widening, broadening our knowledge, our exploration area, our exploration zone. Okay. So the citation styles. This is a very, very in-depth area, so I need not want to discuss on this area. Even if I discuss, you will not be able to understand. This will take more time for you. When you are a PhD scholar, when you are an, what to say, scholar and masters, you will get an introduction about this. APA, education, psychology, and sciences. These are all the citation styles. 2 citation styles. These areas are covered under this kind of a citation style. And then Chicago format we apply for humanities, and MLA format for humanities. So this you will not be able to understand. So I'm avoiding this last point. So next we'll go to Blue Book citation. Now we finished OSCOLA. Okay, OSCOLA I have clearly explained to you the basic things. OSCOLA citation is what to say. Even an example also I have explained to you. So the footnotes is very important. How to mention that footnote? How to mention the footnote? This basic thing, if you are thorough, that is more than enough for OSCOLA. So a footnote, how to number the footnote, and then how to mention the footnote. What is the order pattern? I have explained you. I have given you an example also for it. So now we are coming to the Blue Book citation. So the Blue Book citation is used from 1926. It was mostly used in US law schools, because US law schools are 100 years old. Harvard Law School, or what to say, Pennsylvania State Law University, California State Law University, and then various other, Iowa University and Florida University, and then Oklahoma University, and lot of university, South Carolina University, North Carolina University. Lot of US universities are very, very 100 years old, and they're very, very, they are from the ancient, what to say, the emanation. So they have advanced, what to say, citation, what to say, it emanated from what to say, reporting or simple citation, but uh, when the technology, when the research process get widened, and then when things are getting changed, they adopted the Blue Book citation. In US only, first they adopted. After that, now across the world it has spreaded, and US law schools, and then US federal court, Supreme Court of United States, and then US federal courts of Minnesota or New York City courts, or all the courts in different provinces, the 50 states, they are following still now Blue Book citation. Even after the session, I'll be sharing material to you people, so you can go through that. So I'll be sharing some of the US Supreme Court judgments, and then US what to say, some of the Harvard Law School journals and all I'll be sharing with you. So you can go through that and you'll get an idea how they have cited, how they have followed the Blue Book citation, and how they have applied the Blue Book citation, you will come to know. So now, maximum advanced, we are using the Harvard Blue Book 20th citation, 20th edition. So 90th edition, please don't refer. I'll also be sharing the document of the 20th edition. So you can go through that after the session. So Blue Book citation is giving, what to say, a strength to the position, because when you are citing something, when you are getting an information, and when you're adding that information in your research paper, you are giving a strength to your position. You're taking a stand. This is the right info. This is the info which is supporting my stand on the research work or my topic. So you are taking a strength on your position. This is a psychology you have to understand. When you are taking an information and you're putting it in your research paper, you know that this info is supporting my argumentation or my view or my idea or my topic. So that's the reason the citation is giving strength to your position. It helps out to map out our source. So when you're citing, what happens? I told you, right? When you want to go from South India to North India, from Kanyakumari, the tip of South India, the tip of India, the step of India, to what to say, Kashmir, you have to travel 1,000 kilometer plus. Okay, so you need a map. You need a map, because without map you can't go. You may be familiar with Maharashtra. You may be familiar with some other states where you belong to. So you may not know the other states, the routes to reach Jammu Kashmir. So what you must refer the Google Maps. Now we have Google Maps. What to say, GPRS or technological advancements we have, mapping we are doing, and we are going. And even though we are believing in Google Maps, even now Google Maps are showing wrong directions. So we have to believe on the what to say, the native people over there, and then you have to get the route and you have to go. Or else the boats, the kilometer boats, as I told you, toll gates, and then state borders, and then what to say, territories of each state. So like that, you have to map out a source. It's all sources, all the kilometer boats, and then the state borders and the roads, the golden quadrilateral, national highways, and everything. All the National Highway Authority of India informations are your sources to map out to reach Jammu Kashmir. So like that, this citation will help a reader to map out how you read, how you researched, what are the infos you referred, and you cited here. So that's the reason I have used the word. It helps out to map out our source. And it is a source crediting thing. Because when you are citing something, you are crediting a source. For example, I have wrote a book. You are citing an information from my book in your research paper. It means that you are crediting my research work. You are crediting Mr. Abhishek in his research work. He has done this kind of a research, this kind of a study, this much hard work, and this much applicability of mind and creativity and imagination he has done, and he has expressed this view, and this view is supporting my research. So I am taking and mentioning this. It may be criticizing or it may be supporting, but you are taking my work and you are mentioning. So it is a source crediting thing. You are crediting my source. You are giving an what to say, importance to my source. So in such a way, I'll also be getting an credit through your citation. So it conducts a blue page and a white page. Now I'm coming to the structure of the Blue Book citation. Blue Book citation, in the upcoming slides, I'll be giving you an example, a simple example about Blue Book citation, because whatever the example I've given for OSCOLA or Blue Book, it's a basic example. This example, if you understand more than enough, you have an idea about Blue Book. You have an idea about OSCOLA, because I have seen many books, separate big books, voluminous of papers, conducting big books written on Blue Book and OSCOLA. That and all you cannot read more and you can't understand, because when you are a PhD scholar, you will get that opportunity to go in depth. But when it comes to a 1 hour session, I have to cover in this perspective, then you have better understand. So I'll go fast because I have only 50 minutes. So Blue Book citation is given a strength to our position. It helps to map out the source. It is a source crediting thing. It conducts a blue pages and white pages. Now I'm coming to the structure of the Blue Book edition. So Blue Book citation and Blue Book edition, 20th Blue Book edition, Harvard. So it conducts a blue page and white page. Okay, Harvard Blue Book 20th edition conducts blue page and white page because it's not a very big document, but you need to know the structure of the Harvard Blue Book first of all. Then only you will be easily able to refer it. When you don't know the content, when you doesn't know the how many pages, when you doesn't know about a preface, how you will read the books? Then only you will come to know the moral value or the message of the book. Like that, the Harvard Blue Book 20th edition has a blue page and a white page. Okay, blue page, white page means you should not think that it will be in a blue page, it will be in the white color, it will be in a blue color. You should not think like that. It's a name given to the pages. Okay, so rules itself is less than the book half pages. So what I'm telling is, you may think Harvard Blue Book 20th citation is full of citation, full of numbers, full of alphabetical words and then sentences and then a lot of things. Don't think like that. The rules of the Harvard Blue Book 20th citation, the book, the edition, is less than the half of the pages. So this you have to understand. For us, the blue page or white page, the white page is very, very important because blue page is basic introduction. For example, I'm telling it's a basic introduction about the Harvard Blue Book 20th citation. But white page will be elaborating the blue page and it will be going in deeper into the Harvard Blue Book 20th edition. Okay. So the rules are very, very important for us because applying the rules only you are going to cite. Okay, applying the rules only you are going to refer and you are going to give citation in your research paper. So the rules of the practitioners are summarized in the blue pages. As I told you, right? The blue pages will be guiding you how to use this Harvard Blue Book 20th citation, the 20th edition. So Blue Book will be giving an advice to you. Blue Book will be giving an guidance to you how to use this Harvard Blue Book 20th citation. So the entry level, 25 pages. The Blue Book will be having 25 pages. The white pages consist of rules, things much deeper. I told you, right? Blue page is your guidance. Blue page is your entry level. It is your guideline. But white page is going to help you in citation. So I will give more importance to white page actually. So no need to go more into the blue page. So what the white page it consists of, the contents of Blue Book. I'm leaving the blue page because you can, when I share the document, you will go through the blue page. I'll come to the white page. So typeface conventions. For example, you have to use italics, underlining, what font you have to use, and then whether you have to bold your words or these kind of guidelines. The typeface conventions will be there in the Blue Book. And then the citation sentences. My dear friends, I made a very elaborate and then very in-depth study and I've compiled it in a very, very single slide about the Blue Book. If you cover this, you can take screenshots also, no issues. But anyhow, the slide also will be shared to you. No need to worry. So the citation sentences and clauses, the various clauses, the references, what you're doing, and the introductory signals, the citation of sources of authorities, the primary, secondary, and internet. For example, I told you, right? The bibliography, you have to mention the primary source, secondary source, and then bibliography. Explanatory parentheticals, quotations, the quotes, various other references. And book coverages, the quick references, what are the books quickly referred, law review footnotes, cases, constitution, statutes, legislative materials, unpublished manuscripts. For example, sometimes manuscripts may not be published, but you may get the information from unpublished manuscripts. That also can be cited. So a lot of categories are there. When I share you this Harvard Blue Book 20th edition, you will come to know whatever I explain, it's all very, very important. These are the crucial areas which will be essential for your research work. That's the reason I am stressing on this point. But when you refer the Harvard Blue Book 20th edition, it has a lot of citation styles, lot of citation areas. Constitution, for example, I have mentioned, right, in book coverages. Constitution means US constitutions, American constitution, what to say, UK constitution, or what to say, Indian constitution, or Ireland constitution, Australian constitution, constitution of China. So it's all like that. So statute means the act, legislative materials, the laws passed by the parliament or from the state legislature. These are the things. And white pages is applicable to all academic kind of legal publications. That's the reason I'm stressing more on the white page, because this white page is very important for an academician, for what to say, law student or law scholar or a faculty or whoever it might be, the legal scholars, they have to refer this white pages when they are doing a research paper. No other way, because it's different citation for different areas. So you have to refer it, you have to read it. You cannot be a master of blue book citation. You cannot become a master of OSCOLA. Is very simple. OSCOLA is very, very simple. You can understand very easily. 2 slides is more than enough. But when it comes to blue book, it's very, very broad and wide. You have to refer it. You have to read it. You don't want to become a master, but you have to get the guidance of blue book when you're doing a research paper. That is very important. So when white page is applicable to all academic kind of legal publications like journals, legal research, law reviews, they expand the rules presented in the blue book pages. Rule 1 to 9 I have given you. Common regulations for citing legal documents. Rule 10 to 19 deals with how the legal documents and materials from different countries are cited. Rule 20 to 21 deals with citing of foreign materials and international materials. I told you, right? International materials and foreign materials. Rule T1 to T16 deals with legal citations and ground guidelines for authorities, legal authorities. And index is there to identify different citations. Back cover consists of citation related to court proceedings and non-academic legal documents. So I have studied the blue book and I have simplified everything, and I have given you from rule 1 to rule 9, rule 10 to rule 19, rule 20 to rule 21, and then T1 to T16. What are the rules? What are the rules? These rules, what they are covering. So I've made it very simple for your better understanding. So it's an outcome of a broad study and the in-depth study. Okay. So now we'll come to the, I think you people are feeling it is very, very tedious, very, very boring. What is this? This man is taking on this particular topic. He might have taken some other topic. He's cracking our head. Are you people are thinking like that? Anybody? He might have taken some other topic. Why this man is taking this topic? Cha. Anybody have that kind of a mindset? Okay. So basic structure of the blue book citation. Name of the case. Okay. So the basic structure, I told you, right? In OSCOLA also I've told you what is the basic citation type. Basic citation type. Because this is only you're going to apply in your research paper work, even your PhD or your a law student of UG or PG. Okay. So basic structure of the blue book citation is, I have very simplified everything for your better understanding. So the name of the case, where the case can be found, the court that decided the case, the year the case was decided. Can you get my point? For example, name of the case, Nirbhaya case, for example, where the case can be found. The case can be found in the Supreme Court of India. What to say? The case can be found in SEC online. The case can be found in Manuputra or what to say, India Kanun, or in the what to say journals, the AAR, All India Reporters. Okay, the law reporting of India. The case can be found there, right? The court that decided the case, Supreme Court of India. I'm telling the Nirbhaya case. Okay, the year the case was decided. The case was decided in 2020. Death sentence has been given to the perpetrators and offenders. So this is the name of the case, where the case can be found, the court that decided the case, the year the case was decided. This must be the order you have to cite it. Can you understand what I'm telling? This must be the order when you're citing in Blue Book citation. So refer the User's Guide to Blue Book by Alan L. Dworkin. I suggest this book actually. This is a wonderful book for what to say, a Blue Book citation. So example, I have given example also for that. Clements versus Wilcox. Okay. 392 N.W. 2D 863. It is an American case actually. It is a case of a Minnesota court in United States of America. I've taken this case as an example because I feel it is very convenient for me to build this example. Okay, the illustration. So the name of the case here is Clements versus Wilcox. You apply the first point and then the last point. You compare it. Okay, when I'm telling this. Okay, and must always be underlined. Okay, the Clements and Wilcox must be underlined in the Blue Book citation. The case name and then the verses must be underlined. And then 392, the case number N.W. 863 tells where the case can be found. Okay, I told you, right? In volume 392 of the Northern Western Reporter. I told you, right? Nirbhaya case can be found in All India Reporter. The number I don't know. So Northwestern Reporter, second series at page number 863. So you have to mention the number of the case, where the case will be found, the Northwestern Reporter, which series, which volume, and then the page number where the case exactly is there. So 863. Make note of the fact that there are no spaces in n.w.2d. Okay, can you understand what I'm telling? You should not leave any space. Okay, between this, and then the min in the parenthesis tells you that the parenthesis, the short, the court name is given in short, right? That is parenthesis, tells you that the case was decided by the Minnesota Supreme Court. Okay, that's it. That's it. In India, what we'll be mentioning? SC will be mentioning Supreme Court of India. So SC means Supreme Court of India, our apex court. So this is the basic Blue Book citation and the basic what to say, OSCOLA citation I referred and I have informed you when I begin the session. So now we came to the end. Thank you so much. That's it. So now I welcome questions from everyone. Any questions you can ask. Even you can ask me why you selected this topic. It's very, very boring for me. I'm not able to understand. Please give me a short brief on this topic. Even you can ask this question also, no problem. Please come on. It's time for question.
Yes, sir. A student, Natasha, has raised her hand. So, Natasha, you can ask any kind of query to sir by unmuting yourself.
Good evening, sir. So I had a query, like you mentioned.
Even one thing I'll tell you. One thing I'll tell you. Wait. I'll finish it. When it comes to Blue Book and OSCOLA, even when I was taking classes, I may left any some point, or because some may be specialized in these areas, some may have a better understanding. If I commit any mistake, also you can cite in the questions. No problem. Yes, Natasha, please.
Good evening, sir. So like you mentioned regarding the case, as far as case is concerned, you have given those points like name of the case and all. But suppose I am writing a research article on Union of Budget, and I'm not referring to any cases. I'm referring to various articles available on Google. So in that particular page, how would I mention those footnotes? Because I would be referring to a article, not to a case. So you have mentioned regarding the case, if it's an article or it's a website, so how would I mention it in the footnotes?
No, yes, I got it. I got your point. So you need not want to mention this HTTP. Okay, better what I will suggest is you can mention it in the bibliography. But there is a style I have heard in Blue Book citation for the, I have mentioned, right, internet materials, the websites. There is a style of mentioning. You have to remove that HTTP, that link and all, you have to remove it. And then you have to mention that, what to say, internet website. For example, you're referring Guardian, Print, Hindu. You have to refer that the editorial, the name of the editorial, the name of the newspaper, a name of the website. For example, e-magazine or e-newspaper or e-link of the particular what to say, press media link. And then you need not want to mention the link. You have to mention the date and then the, what to say, the exact date of publication of that, and you have to mention it. That's it.
All right.
You should not just cut and copy paste. You should not just cut and copy paste. HTTP, the link, you should not cut and copy paste. But better you can mention it in a bibliography. I will suggest you to mention it in bibliography.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Next questions. Anybody who wants to correct me, that is also welcome. I'm always open to anything, even criticism, whatever. Please come forward. I want you all to be more interactive. That is very, very important. I am only more talkative. You people are not talkative. As I am running the session, I am more talkative. You people are very, very silent. To the core patience, to the core, what to say, humbleness you people have. I'm admiring you all. Please come forward. Break the patience.
So, participants, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Or you can raise your hand, or you can write it in the chat box itself.
More impact participants, please go over. Yeah, chat box. If you are feeling shy, lawyer should not feel shy. Lawyer must be bold in raising his voice. If you are feeling shy, please post it in the chat box. I will read it, no problem. Please don't feel shy. Please come forward. how to save from plagiarism. Already I informed this respondent for this question. It was not postulated, but I have given the answer right. Citation, referencing in a systematic, proper manner only will help you to escape from the plagiarism. Yes, I will share the PPT, Deepali. Yes. Now only I'm seeing the chat box. Is any other questions, participants? What is this, participants? 1 hour session, 1 question. If I have 2 hour session, you will have 2 questions. Then I can extend the session for another 1 hour. Deepali, shall I extend the session for another 1 hour? Please, participants, please come forward. I'm getting more annoyed. I want at least 5 questions. Then only I'll get satisfied.
Sir, I have a query, so I can ask right now. Like in case of making the memo, okay. So generally, what we do is like we prefer some of the articles, like we get some judgment or anything from the site. So as you have mentioned that we cannot directly put the URL in the footnote. You mean to say that? So in case of making memo, we cannot put we cannot have a page like especially for bibliography. So in that case, how can we cite the article's name or whatever it may be in case of making a memo for moot competition?
Yes, I got it. But moot competition, even if you're mentioning what to say, HTTP or what to say, I've seen in some of the moots. Even if you're mentioning the exact link in the footnote, nobody is going to question you much. I get my point in the memo.
Okay.
When it comes to moot court. Because moot court, you cannot mention a reference at the end, or you have to mention the footnote. So
Yes,
anyhow, that is not going to come to the practicality, right? Practicality, you're not going to do that. So moot courts, you leave it better.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, Deepali, you're compensating others. You're compensating others. When my viewers are not asking the question, better I will ask the question because I'm the host.
Sir, I have a question again.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
So like you said,
Rasha, you have a question.
Yes, sir. So like you said that I should mention those internet website footnotes, like works cited in bibliography. So would you suggest me to use those, like there are some of the, pages or site, I would say, like cite this for me, or some of the, like the, some of the things which, give you, like directly help you to cite any of the internet website or article. So would you suggest to use that?
What you're asking, I'm unable to get your question.
There are some of the tools like cite this for me, or different type of tools who help you cite some of the footnotes and all. So would you suggest?
Yeah, what I will suggest is, because I won't use those kind of tools. I don't use, because whatever the citation, whatever the reference you're doing, that must be purely your work. Okay, you should not depend on any kind of tools or any kind of out of your own manual zone. You should not depend on anything. This is my advice. Please consider this, because whatever you are referring, whatever you are going to cite it must be purely your work, your efforts. Can you get me point, Rasha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you refer and you cite it. Even the internet or any kind of link, e-link, you're going to refer it. The electronic media or whatever platforms, e-platforms, you cite it, you refer it, and you cite it. So better you don't depend on these kind of
all right.
citation.
Yeah. So like, what is the format? What is the format for the particular thing? Like in the case, you have mentioned your name of the case and all, but if you are, referring to an internet site, how would you give an example?
Yes, I will send it after the session. I will send it.
All right, so
different nation and Oxford, what to say, but Harvard Blue Book itself, it will be mentioned. But you're asking this, so I will send you the format, how to cite it. I will send you clearly, because I have to type and I have to show, but I will send you the Harvard Blue Book so that you will. And I will share this PPT also. So in that I mentioned rule number, I think from 90 to 20, 90 to 21 to what to say, 20 to 21, I think the area covers. So I will send you. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, participants?
Participants,
Deepali, if you have ask the participants to.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
If they have
Sir.
any questions, they can raise. I'm not forcing them. If they have any questions, they can come forward. That is my request.
Yes, sir. So, participants, if you have any kind of query, please go forward and ask, sir, so that every doubt will be cleared out in this session. Or else you can write it in the chat box itself.
Yes, I've given two options. If you feel shy, you can write in chat box. If
Yes,
you're very
sir.
bold, very courageous, come and talk.
There is a question sir, in this bipolar world, how will we know the citing from social media? Will it be liable? Okay, reliable.
Yes, from Ajisha, right?
No.
From Ajisha, right?
No. His or her name is like something. Tangual have keep something like that.
Yes. Social media, what to say? His question is really good. In this bipolar world, how will we know the citing from social media? Will it be liable? Social media, for example, I'll tell you, every press media, they have social media platforms nowadays, even the print, Guardian, Hindu, or whatever it might be. India Today, Aztec, and everybody, they're having Instagram pages, Twitter pages. And what to say? Citing from social media means you should not take that social media platform. For example, I am citing an editorial from Hindu. I may not be a regular daily Hindu newspaper reader. Okay, I'm getting that e-link of that information through my WhatsApp. I cannot say I got this from this WhatsApp number I got, and then I am citing this WhatsApp number. I can't do it. But I can cite the e-link which I got through that WhatsApp. So social media platforms nowadays, we all are connected more with social media platforms, right? Everybody, we are connected with social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and then YouTube. So social media platforms also indirectly they are impacting. Nobody can deny this. Indirectly, they are impacting. They are bringing the information to us. Am I right or wrong? Social media platforms, even though they are not generating the information, they are an instrument which is bringing the information. But I will not say that social media citation is what to say, encourage. I will not encourage it, but nobody can. Many places I've seen what to say when they are doing a presentation, they'll be telling, I have referred it from Instagram, and they'll be telling. Actually, that is not from Instagram. It is from India Today. It may be from some other press media platforms, which is having a page in the Instagram. So in such a way, you have to understand. So nowadays, information are easily flowing into us through social media platforms. You can't deny this because everybody is not reading newspapers nowadays. Many students, they're not reading newspapers. They're not when they're not reading the newspaper hard copy. How they will be reading the e-newspaper, the soft copy? You have to think in this perspective. So soft copy e-paper also not going to read. Now, how we are getting the news information? If lockdown is going to get extended in Maharashtra, how we are knowing that? To social media. Immediately it is coming to you. Now we have InShots. Immediately InShots is putting a short message and it is posting in their social media platform, in their application. So it is reaching to you immediately. So social media platforms is bringing you information very rapidly, very immediately. So that is not reliable action. The WhatsApp or social media citation. I'm not supporting it. That's not reliable. So, sir, while writing a blog, we cannot use the citations for each page. So, can you please suggest something for a more effective blog? Okay. So, thanks for giving me this wonderful research area. So, one of the participants has given me a research topic to research on it. I will research and I will revert back to you, Ajisha. Thank you so much. So, blog, she's not able to cite it each and every page. So, she wants how to cite for a blog. So, I will make a study because I don't know that area. Blog, how they are citing, I don't know. So, I will work on it and I will let you know. I will respond to that. Sir, does that mean the blue tick proper authorized pages on Insta can be trusted? This is a good question actually. For example, even the actress, even Kangana Ranaut, she has a blue tick on her Instagram pages. But what happened? Recently, what happened? In Twitter, she has blue tick. Kangana Ranaut has blue tick on her Twitter page. Now, what happened recently? Twitter suspended Kangana Ranaut. Whether you can believe on her statements, every statements you can believe on her statements. Am I right or wrong? My views are right or wrong. The question asked is, sir, does that mean the blue tick proper authorized pages on Insta can be trusted? That not only applicable to Insta, it is applicable to Twitter, it is applicable to all the social media platforms. That's the reason I'm giving you an example. Kangana Ranaut recently tweeted, I need not want to mention that tweet because I'm not interested to talk about that. But immediately Twitter, what they did, they suspended her Kangana Ranaut's social media platforms. It was related to the Bengal violence, recent violence. So whether that can be trusted, whether the information shared by Kangana Ranaut can be trusted. So that question, this is my response to LIM. I don't know the name. So next question, any other question? I hope the answer satisfies you. You can text me.
Sir, so I was the one who asked the question. So
Yes.
I was about to ask in the sense that the news channels are also having the blue tick marked authorized
Okay.
pages. So does that what you meant? The proper Instagram pages can actually guide the teenagers, because you meant the newspapers we're not reading much. So the news channels are also having the blue tick, and authorized news channels are also there on Insta, tweet, everything. So can we trust them? Can that be cited?
No, actually, news media, we have to cite no other way, because today's newspaper is tomorrow's history. Okay, can you get my point? Today's newspaper is tomorrow. The COVID-19 pandemic threat, it is not by the virus, it is by the media. You have to accept this. Okay, the media is in the society. So what I want to say here is that you have to testify whether that information, whether that the source, that information is reliable or not. Because I told you, right, for UPSC aspirant, what he will do, he will collect all the sources, he will accumulate, and he will see. Even for what to say, the modern India, we have different sources. Modern India, we have different sources. And for what to say, the nuclear, power of India, we have different sources, different references, different things. And you have to see whether that is reliable or not. You have to analyze, you have to research. So you can see, right, second strain of COVID-19 variant is spreading rapidly across India. So one newspaper is reporting in this manner, okay, one newspaper. Another newspaper, the second mutant variant of COVID-19 is rapidly spreading in different avatars. Andhra virus, West Bengal virus, Tamil Nadu virus, Kerala virus, Karnataka virus, and Punjab virus. So different virus in different states. So see, the reporting matters. It's a second variant. Why you are making it state virus, territorial virus? So you might have seen, right? They were reporting, some newspaper medias, they were reporting Andhra has a different kind of virus and West Bengal has a different kind of virus. So the matters, the reliability matters. So that you have to research and you have to study and you have to come out. Because whatever the question you're asking, the response what I'm going to give, it differs to different perspective in the different areas. History cannot be rewritten. Nowadays, newspaper, they are rewriting the history also. Pathetic situation. India has a particular history in a particular area. For example, archaeology of India on a particular, some archaeological site. They are rewriting the history itself. That is happening. So we have to research in depth. We have to collect a lot of sources, and we have to select which is preferable, which is applicable to our research paper. LIM satisfied with my answer?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. There's any other questions, participant? It is very interesting. I asked for 5 questions, but now the question is exceeding more than 5 and it is going to reach 10. Very happy. I am so much enthusiastic to answer for your questions. Please come forward. You mentioned something about arranging it in alphabetical order. What was the context? Due to my bad network signal, I missed it. Okay, I will respond to Mr. Respond to him. So the alphabetical order, what I mentioned is, in bibliography, when you are mentioning the author, the books, book references, you have to mention it in the order of the, the author name. For example, Albert Einstein has written a book. Okay, Albert Einstein has written a book on the gravity, the velocity. or the physical concepts, the concepts of physics. So you have to mention Albert Einstein as first. Then after that, Benjamin Franklin has written a book on the lightning arrestor. So you have to mention Benjamin Franklin as second, Albert Einstein A, Benjamin Franklin B. Then you have to come. You may not have C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So you may not have an author on these names. So then you're coming to Glimpses of the World, written by Jawaharlal Nehru. So you have to write Jawaharlal Nehru after Benjamin Franklin. The alphabetical arrangements of mentioning the author and their books. So that is the alphabetical order I was mentioning about the bibliography. Bibliography is at the end of the research paper, mentioning all details about the books. What are the books you have referred? What are the editorials, articles, magazines, etc., etc. All the print media, and then the hot copy sources. What are the things you refer? So, are you satisfied with my answer, Tangolan Okip? Are you satisfied with my answer? Yes. Thank you. Then any other questions we can permit, or we can wind up the session, Deepali? Your choice,
yes,
Deepali.
sir.
The ball is in your court. Decide.
Okay, sir. So participants, if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask to sir right now, or you can write it in the chat box itself. Sir will be answering to you.
Now, what is happening now? The topic of Ascola and Blue Book, it is shifting to media law. The session is becoming a session on media law, laws of media, laws of press.
Yes, sir.
So very good, very good. You are deviating the session into the different law. So any other questions you have, participants?
I think there is no more questions, sir.
Okay. So
yes.
I hope question time is over.
Yeah, sir.
Yes,
I
will
a
small say my
request.
last words. Yeah. Yes. Tell me.
Yeah, sir. Could you please show your first slide of the PPT so that I can take a screenshot of this session?
Yeah. I will show first slide. Yes. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Also, Mr. Castro, kindly make it a full screen so that a screenshot can be taken properly.
I'm unable to make full screen. Some issues I'm facing here. Shall I send you the screenshot?
No issue, sir. I have taken the screenshot. It is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So last words for the session, I want to tell the participants. So participants, what I would like to suggest to you is, now you have had some basic level, a beginner level understanding on Ascola and Blue Book. What I would like to suggest to you people is, first of all, when the session is organized like this, kindly try to be more interactive. Kindly try to port the tongue of the session speakers. Then only you will get a lot of ideas. Then only I will also learn from you people. I'm not here to teach you people. At the same time, I'm here to teach you. I'm here to learn from you. Okay. So that is very, very important. Kindly understand this. And then when you are a UG student, don't think I want to secure marks. Don't be a bookworm. Be out of box thinkers. Be a creative people. Imagine, man of imagination, and do a lot of stuff. And then please read a lot of books. Please write a lot of stuffs. And then keep yourself hyperactive in broad, multifaceted areas. That is very, very important. That only give you a lot of sources. That only give you a lot of contacts. That only is a very, very, fundamental character and then basic characteristics of a lawyer, an advocate. Okay, you all are not going to be a lawyer. You all are going to be a scholars, a legal scholars in the court of lawyer. Okay, so remember this and keep on exploring. Keep on taking your wings to greater heights. Fly with colors. All the best. May you all do well. Be blessed abundantly.
Yes, sir.
And Deepali, you can go ahead with your conclusion.
So on behalf of Team Law Internship, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Advocate R. Abhishek Castro, sir, for taking out time from his busy schedule and interacting with the young minds. It was truly an enriching session. Thank you again, sir, and thank you everyone for your kind attention.
Thank you so much. And send your reviews and comments without fail. Okay. I do not want questions, but I want comments and reviews. That is more and more important for me. Okay. Thank you so much, participants. Means a lot. Thank you so much, Law Internship, Subhang sir, Deepali, and my dear friend, Preeti Jindal. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.